How goes it? How goes it, my dear friend, my subscriber, my liker, my fan of Tuko Riada, my friend? Listen to this. I'm doing well. Looking forward to 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Chelsea against PSG. FIFA Club, World Cup, whatever that is. Man, Chelsea, who was betting against the Blues? Here come the Paris Saint-Germain in the finale. Looking forward to that. I might not be able to see it. Please don't text me about the results. Please don't. I'll watch it later. I have some soccer games to officiate. So, what an intro. But before we get to it carried away, I want to thank you guys for being part of this paradigm, this paradiso of community, my friend. I'm enjoying it. I'm thrilled to be the face. I got what I call the social media consultant. We cannot drop names in this episode. I've recruited the best of the best consultants the world can offer. They are my payroll. Just kidding, but it's true. I'm enjoying these guys. Listen, athletics is underappreciated. It's at the lowest of the totems when it comes to revenue, viewing, interest. But trust me, you guys make it big. Wherever you are, enjoy this. Let's carry on. Let's go back to Spain a little bit and revisit what happened yesterday. Let me give you a holistic view. I didn't look much into the field events, I have to confess. Modo Duplantis is still the man to beat in pole vault. I watched a little bit of triple jump. There's an Algerian competition going on there. Jamaica was doing very well. I saw 17 was the distance they were trying to crack. So I'm just giving you my overview. I wasn't really focused. I had other things in my mind. Yes, I saw the hurdles. There's a young American who seems to be doing very well in the hurdles, the 100 meters hurdles for women. So I'm just giving you an overview to tell you that I have what I call a broader stroke of things that I saw. But when it comes to running, I'm biased. I zoom in. And Delilah Mohammed in the 400 hurdles, she's 35. People talk of sunset at 35 for athletes. She's not going anywhere. Former world champion from 2011, if I remember correctly. Delilah Mohammed running 52s at this age in her life is impeccable. Is to be said that she's taking care of herself. She's kept everything around her to be comfortable and able to enable her to do what she's doing right now. She was second to Femke Bol, who ran the best time of the world lead time of 51. To see Delilah Mohammed to me is an honor. Some of these things, let me tell you something, being an athlete at that level is not easy. To maintain that kind of deliverance, so that people like Usain Bolt were like 3 times while Olympic, I'm retiring. People retire for different reasons. Delilah is still here. I mentioned having a very close encounter with Kerani James, the Canadian. He's 33 and he's still running 44s in 400 meters. We'll see him in the World Championship. I can guarantee you that if he makes the final, I might try to have a talk with this guy. Not that I be able, but some of these people you want to really appreciate. Longevity, consistency, and being at the highest level for that long is not easy. 30s is always a courage for most athletes, but Delilah Mohammed takes the flowers for me in Monaco. Being able to still run 52s is incredible. Let's stick with the women here. Let's go to the 1K, the 1,000 meters. That is usually an unusual event in track and field, most in Diamond League, but they had to give it that space. And I think what screams on the screen is Nelly Jepchirchir, a new phenom from Kenya. Reminds me of the male gender of David Kibet. They used to call him Trans Kenya. Guy with long legs. He was incredible. I think he had a 340 something in the mile. I remember the guy very well because he was a buddy of mine back in the days, maybe because we are tall guy, lanky legs. So Nelly Jepchirchir wins the 1K yesterday in 2:39. The world record is being held by, well, it was Svetlana Mastakova, 1996. I think she was a gold medalist back then in 1500. She still has a record of 228. Nelly Jepchirchir 229 yesterday. That's the closest we've seen so far in that record being smashed. It's an uncommon record. It's like the mile. Because track and field has certain disciplines that are always there. 15, not the mile. 800, not the 1,000. But they always mix it up in there anyway. But yeah, to see that lady take people like Jessica Howell, of course, Mary Moraa is a puzzle. A lot of question marks around Mary Moraa right now. Can't tell you what I'm seeing. Personally, it's mental. Psychologically, she's not in the game. You can tell. I think one of the most shocking things is to see her looking like she doesn't know where she is. When you see that from an athlete, something underneath that I cannot expose. She's the one who knows, and the people around her. I hope she gets a game going into the World Championship. Mary Moraa, I'm wishing you well, but it's very confusing, and it's a bizarre thing to see her being dead last in the 1K. But the talk of the town is Nelly Jepchirchir for me. She's young. She's 23. She has a 3:56, I think, the 1,500 meters. I think that tells me that things are boding well in Kenya in that event of 15. If Faith decides she wants to, say goodnight, we are okay with it, because Nelly Jepchirchir, if she continues this trend, is very good for distance running in Kenya and the world. Because Jessica Howell, we saw her the other day in Eugene. She looked good. She's a 350. But Nelly Jepchirchir was like no other 200. She just took off. And second place was Andy Wiley. I think she's a Brit. 230 was the second place finisher. So yeah, this conversation here for me moving forward is to see that Faith is leaving a good resume for people to follow, yes, but it's being filled with some great athletes. Even the 5K, I remember mentioning this with Beatrice Chebet. Right behind her was Agnes Ngetich, 1401. That gap is good. That's a very healthy gap when it comes to distance running for Kenya and for the world, because we need to see the best in the world. Yeah, that is my another name I'll put out there for the day, given the Monaco event yesterday. I think moving forward in 5K for men, I think Kenya should just say we have done here, because I didn't see anything even to mention in the 5K. I think the conversation or the talking point was, what is the future for Yomif Kechelcha, the Ethiopian? Let me tell you something about being the best and not winning. Yomif Kechelcha is a great Ethiopian front runner we've ever seen in a long time. His guy has ran 1240s consistently, but he's never won anything. I mean, you can admire the guy's guts, grit, and let's face it, he's not the only one in the whole of people who never won. Prefontaine is is an iconic name. He never won anything at the world level, maybe college. This is Yomif Kechelcha, who has never won, but he's a front runner. It reminds me of people like Ruben Chesire back in the 80s. This guy could lead 1,500 final every time. You can watch 1984. Ruben Chesire is leading all the time. He faced to fifth or fourth. You can go back to 1990, I think it's 92 again. He does the same thing. He never wins. There are these guys who, Bob Kennedy was the same thing, by the 5K guy. He never won anything, but he was there when it was relevant. Okay, penultimate lap to go, never won, but you can see their face. And there are times when very good. Bob Kennedy, I think, had the American record for a long time, but never won anything. I remember training with him here in Sunset High School. Great guy. It reminds me, I can mention names after names that they never got over the hump. Yomif Kechelcha is one of those people, and apparently he's retiring from track. According to him, this was it for him. He makes a quote here that tells us that he is done. Um, he says something about that he's happy, he's done all this, especially winning yesterday in the 5K. And then he said, it makes me really satisfied that he got a win, which has not been coming easy for him. And him and his coach are considering that he might make the 10K for the Ethiopian team, but he's moving forward into road racing. So he's deciding to hit the road. The track is not enough. Is enough for him. Maybe that's what most Kenyans have done. By the way, they found out that they cannot do a 52 lap the last 400, a 53 seconds lap the last 400. If you don't have that speed in the championship these days, there's no medal at all. And Kenyans have been found wanting, mostly in the last 200, the last 400. Jepchirchir has been a victim of that. He doesn't have that leg speed to win when the field is closing on him. So he's been a guy I've really admired. I understand he trains here in Portland. Well-spoken guy. But Yomif Jepchirchir, we might be seeing the last of him in track and field. We'll see him on the road. Good for him. He's really treated us to some great things. It was great again to say that Noah Lyles and Letsile Tebogo have renewed their rivalry, that where they left off in the Olympic Championship, where we know who won. It was gold for Tebogo. And Noah Lyles, the face of track and field, is back. The rock star, the guy that track and field needs because it sells the product. And like I said in the beginning of my conversation here, track and field is struggling. Michael Johnson said he was going to save it. Everybody wants to save track and field. But what really saves track and field is the voices, the subscribers, the traffic, the revenue, the names that people want to go see. The Shakira Richardsons of this world, the Noah Lyles, who is the present Usain Bolt of track and field. We need those guys. Jacob Engbeston, people like Faith Kipyegon. People want to watch those characters, Beatrice Chebet of this world. They bring that interest. And I think Noah Lyles in the American continent and the global market, Africa, I say Tebogo. We need more of those, including the women who are doing incredible work. It was good to see him win. And he looks very solid to me. He looks like he's like almost saying that this is still my event. I'm the man to beat. But he has to. I have to tell you this: Tebogo is not a pushover either. So I like the rivalry. I like the way they did that. I think Tebogo came off the blocks very strong. I think he came out too strong because I think he felt, because I think Noah was outside him on the lanes. But to see them there and then, you saw Noah just doing it at the end was good. It's good. I like that rivalry. It's good for track. It's good for viewing. And I'll finish with 800 because I think I'll wrap up by saying that I think Emmanuel Wanyonyi, 6 times now he's ran 141s. So for him, 141 is nothing. He's trained very well for that. What will it take him to get to 140.8, which it could be the world record? Ideally, it has to be 8 athletes on the track plus the pacemaker. Do we need 2 pacemakers? I don't think so. 800 is just not, it doesn't need 2 pacemakers anymore. I think 49 was still good. I didn't like the fast 200. There were too many athletes fighting for that inside lane, going into coming into the barrier there where the steeplechase water barrier is. If you notice, there was a tripping. Go watch the video. Right there was a tripping. Did it interfere a little bit to somebody like Wanyonyi going into the penultimate lap? Possibly. You need to have ideal strides. Everything has to be in rhythm. Rudisha was a perfectionist. He was a masterclass. 2012, when you watch Rudisha, there was it was no iffies. Everything was as is. He took the front lead, 49. He attacked the third lap. He came off the turn. He saw the finish line. That's what Wanyonyi needs. Everything has to be open for him. And I think the pacemaker for him was either too close or he doesn't need one. Sometimes that's what it takes. I don't know whether Rudisha was exceptional that he needed a pacemaker. Wanyonyi needs a pacemaker. He can do it by himself. He can push himself. But sometimes pacemaking helps. But I think he was too close. That's just my observation. And I think I'll go back to the fast 200. 23 was too quick coming off that rush. You don't have to rush if you're looking for the world record. You just have to run. And I think the athletes, the starting lineup was too big. I think there were two in each lane. You don't, and Monaco is a close environment, which is good. It's no wind, but they say Julian Alfred had the wind behind the 100 meters. So could it have been that the back straight had some wind? I don't know, but you have to contend with the elements. Anyway, I'm rooting for Emmanuel Wanyonyi with 6 times. He ran 141s to be the guy to do it. I hope, but injuries sometimes too can just derail your career and your plans. So I'm just hoping men can do something in track that can make us say, "Oh man, world records for men, blah blah," all that stuff. I mean, women are just in a different class right now, and I'm trying to find an event that looks like we might have a world record this year that is legit. I mean, 3,000 from Jakob last year, the 717 is okay, but it's not the what I call the proper track and field a world record. If you know what I mean, for those who watch this. And so I hope Wanyonyi does it. I'm a big fan of him. Will it take something special? Yes. Rieti, Italy, is a great track for world records. Rudisha had it in London, but Rudisha was something different. I think he was an aberration. He was like what do you call this? Is an anomaly, something that's just we don't see it all the time. Rudisha to run 141, 140.9 in London and go to Brazil in humidity and run 142 is a different cat. So we can just say he belongs to the another Rushmore, not this one. Anyway, that was my holistic take. I'm just looking forward to London. I think that's where they go next. I'll catch up with you guys again. I got to go officiate some games shortly. And I wish you guys a great weekend. Go Blues! And Tuko Riada, my friend. Like, subscribe, and do what we do here. Thank you guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.